All right. Hello, hello. Welcome everyone back to an in-studio edition, last one for a long time, happy hour show. I have with me pretty much the first guy I ever streamed with back in the old school crypto days. And I realized my video feed absolutely sucks, so I'm just going to disappear. Crypto Coffee, man. How you doing?
Good. Glad to be here. Yeah, it's been a long time, huh? We've seen it all.
We've seen it all. I remember Richard was actually in on one of the streams you did or I did. I mean, that's what happened with COVID, right? Like, like nothing to do. He was. I think he one of your. I think it was actually my first Instagram post, and you were like, what if the founder gets, run over by a bus or something like that? And he was like, that bus is going to have to drive through a wall to get me or something like that. I screenshot it, but yeah, it was cool when the founder of the coin was on with us or at least watching in chat. So fond memories.
Yeah, well, some say he's still watching quietly.
Some say he's still watching. I have heard that quietly. Yep. And what is up, chat? Thank you for being patient. We're just setting up in the back end here. What's up, D'Artagnan 8? What's going on? We got Red Squirrel. No, coffee did not rug. Or he rugged the coffee. Do you drink tea now?
Try not to drink caffeine, but I still do from time to time. Definitely prefer tea. It's a little bit easier on the body.
Word. Maybe I should do that. I'm a mix now. I do green tea and coffee. Westcott bringing the ramen. What's up, my man? Made it for Cabana, waiting for coffee. Well, coffee is here now. Mr. eHEX, what's going on? We got the raid from DJ Cryptomatic. What's up, Matty Allen? CP, what's going on? Yes, you did raid over Mr. DJ. Thank you. Cool pregame show. Yes, that stream exists somewhere. I don't know, but actually, I know SJ. I think you're on Instagram. We follow each other. I think it's my very first post. Go to the screen cap, and I think it's me and coffee with Richard's quote on it. It's pretty funny.
Streams. That'd be fine with me if we could forget about some of those. But no, I know what you mean. It's fun.
I think I had like a big markable thoughts beard back then too.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, that's where the profile pic comes from.
Oh yeah, good times. Well, I mean my profile pic right now that I'm speaking from is an okay beard, but it was like long during COVID. But anyway, what's going on with you, man? How you been? I've been checking out your videos in the replay gang and whatnot. But how's launch treated you? I haven't talked to you since, and how's everything going?
Yeah, it's been a roller coaster as always. Never a dull moment in crypto. So here we are. We pumped, we dipped. Some people bought the dip, some people cried. Some people wasted all their time on Twitter arguing with nobodies. And some people are going to lock in the opportunity of a lifetime right now. So it's really all a matter of perspective, isn't it? Glass half full versus glass half empty. It's something that's hard to teach, right? You can't teach someone to be an optimist. If they want to look at everything in the negative light, they will. And that's totally up to them. So crybaby soy boy haters, just keep crying watch as we cuckold your mad gains and fade into obscurity.
Yeah, man. And I go back again to, I guess, when we first, were streaming along with the Discourse Syndicate guys and stuff like that, just getting our feet wet, if you will. And we went through ups and downs back then. So I mean, I guess we're battle tested more so than others in a way with these coins or this ecosystem. But it's up to, I guess, us and the rest of the community to help everybody stay strong, not get the old lettuce hands, and perhaps accumulate more, because these opportunities only last maybe 6-12 months, and who knows how far we're already into it, who knows how little we have left. We're looking at right now a nice pump today. Go ahead.
You had 12 months to buy the dip, and it's still the bear market, by the way. We haven't seen a pump yet. Okay, we're back up It's nice to see green candles, though, isn't it, guys? It's great to see green candles, but I mean, look at it this way: we're back up to sacrifice prices on PulseChain. PulseX is at a 50% discount, so you can get double the coins that people that got into the sacrifice phase could have gotten if you buy right now. And then people in the sacrifice should all be very happy because they were able to get 15 to 20x more bang for their buck, considering that the coins that they gave away at the time were worth 15, 20x more than they are today. So everyone with a long-term mindset is pretty happy. People that missed the sacrifice got their dip buying opportunity, and it's still there. I mean, you had 3-cent hex for 9 months, and now you got 1 penny hex, but you got 2 of them. So pick which one you want. They're both going to do fine. They're both going to be tied to each other. Maybe not 1-to-1, but if you buy the cheaper hex, what Richard was trying to say on his tweets is that it actually pumps the price up harder, because if you buy the one with less liquidity that has more room to pump, like that one can go up and meet parity faster, and you also drag pHEX up along with it. So if you're buying, like if you really are buying and you're serious about it, just look at what the effect of the price, right? Like if you put $100,000 into eHEX, the price can go up a lot more, and it'll also pump pHEX. Whereas if you put that same $100,000 into pHEX, the price will go up a little bit less, but will also drag eHEX up with it a little bit less. So it's hard to explain to people. It's basically Hart's law in a nutshell. But yeah, I think
while OGs are trying to abandon it at the same time, which is weird. Some.
I don't buy that.
Yeah.
I don't buy that narrative at all. I think anybody that's doing that is I'm not even going to acknowledge it, right? Like you gotta really focus on framing and controlling the frame, right? Like if we shine too much light on this eHEX pHEX thing, it's just a waste of time at the end of the day, rather than just promoting the coins we like and getting wrapped up in this pHEX eHEX argument. It's not an argument. They're both great. They're both going to survive. They're both going to do well. And that's the narrative that I'm trying to put forward. So, I mean, it is what it is. If you don't believe that, you don't have to. The price chart will show you.
Yeah. And I think it's gone pretty much how every, I guess, reasonable hexagon thought it was going to go. Like I didn't think, and I know a lot of, streamers and, members of the community didn't think it would be exactly a 1-to-1. I kind of thought from the get-go that, pHEX would be at a premium, or you could say eHEX is at a discount. I prefer to say pHEX, is a premium. I don't know. But it's kind of just going as everyone thought, and I don't understand like the victory laps and fudding and all that stuff when it'd be like, oh my gosh, it's time to capitulate. This is the last chance. It's over. It's just like, guys, you know how many coins are staked for 15 years on both sides? And it's the emergency end staking that would have to take place to bring one down versus the other, and vice versa. It's a mess. And I do agree with your take. It should largely be, I guess, put to bed, so to speak, as much as it can. But at the same time, I guess an interesting topic has come out of this is like, how do you promote the Hex brand? Like if you're onboarding somebody, do you send them to Hex on PulseChain, Hex on Ethereum, both? How has your, I guess, pitch maybe adjusted recently?
All 4 coins.
All of them.
eHEX, PulseChain, Pulse. The really important thing to get across is that you need to really teach people to understand the value of what they're holding and the value proposition. It's some people might call it the narrative, but it's really what makes these coins have value. Because again, it goes back to quality over quantity, right? We want people of quality to be in this ecosystem, not just a bunch of plebs that are going to weekend and bitch out at the first 40% dip that they see because they realize that prices don't go up to the right in a straight line. I say this on repeat, that the price you pay for the Meg gains is extreme volatility. Richard says that. We all say it. Very few actually understand it. It really means that you need to have the stomach to withstand a 90% dip, maybe even 99, and then buy more because you have conviction. And if you don't, then don't play the game. Go chase the next yield farm. There's tons of them popping up all over the place. You can get $50 over here, $100 over there. Eventually one of them rugs and you lose everything, and you're back to square one. These are all just nowhere. These are dead end roads, right? Like a lot of these coins, They're only good for one pump. They're meme coins. The developers rug, move on to the next thing. Reloading scams everywhere. Shiny object syndrome. You need to push people towards superior products. Okay. And that's what I think Richard's built. Hex is a product, finished, complete. It was designed to store value, but it was also designed to be better than Bitcoin in terms of price pumping dynamics. Right now, we've got two of them, so there's a little bit of confusion in the market. But as you said, we predicted the confusion that there was going to be a certain segment of people that wouldn't believe in eHEX, that would automatically think that pHEX is the real hex. They wouldn't understand liquidity bonding, but then there's always going to be stakers of last resort, similar to in Bitcoin, holders of last resort. But the better thing about Hex is that it's verifiable on chain, that these guys have proven their dedication by staking for an average of 7 years. So you've got over 100,000 stakers that clearly believe for an average of 7 years that they're willing to withgo the opportunity cost of their Hex in order to get paid yield. And that's amazing. Like no other chart, no other coin in all of history, not even traditional CDs really have that, right? Like I don't know the stats on them, but I don't even think they really offer 15. Well, they do offer 15-year CDs, but I don't think people are rushing into those, paying 1%, 2% APY, right? So this is really like nothing ever seen before. You got to understand what the product is with Hex. And same thing with PulseChain. PulseChain sharing the load of Ethereum. It's not a competitor, right? Just like eHEX is not a competitor to pHEX. Ethereum is not a competitor to PulseChain, right? They live symbiotically. One was, PulseChain was meant to reduce the load. It's a cheaper, faster Ethereum. It burns fees. So if you like, deflation and that narrative, then good. It's also better for the environment. It doesn't use proof of work like Bitcoin. Ethereum is also better for the environment. And then what's PulseX, right? It's an exchange token, buy and burn. People seem to get off on that one the most because it has the simplest token dynamic to explain. Rather than having to explain the whole T-share system, it's like, oh, PulseX, you buy it and you burn it. Even a fucking broomstick can understand that. But you got everyone online. They like genius mode activated because they like, they understand what buy and burn means, which is fine. There's a little something for everyone. And so whatever narrative hits with different people, whatever value prop hits with different people, and whatever route they want to get in on, that's fine. Some whales over on Ethereum might be kind of even scared to go over to PulseChain right away. They can buy Hex on Ethereum to get some exposure to the ecosystem. They can still stake it. There's higher payouts per T-share. We're seeing a little bit of a decoupling in the payout per T-share, which some people care a lot about.
Yes.
Whereas other people don't see the value. It's been clear that a lot of people that were just pretending to be hexicans didn't bother learning about staking, learning about long-term holding. A lot of people think they're just going to come in, buy the absolute bottom and sell the absolute top and time the market perfectly. And then 2 years later, they're going to be rich and just ride off into the sunset, apparently. Like, it's never really how it works, right? You need to think on multi-year time scales. Like, one cycle is great. Yeah, we should all be taking profit. I'm not saying hold forever, geniuses out there, but we need to take profit at the tops, or when you have an opportunity to. But with the staking ladder, for example, you never have to completely kill the golden goose because you can sell the interest, restake the principal. And if every cycle has an order of magnitude higher base price, even after a 90% dip, if the price goes up 1,000x and dips 90%, you're still up 100x, even at the lows of the low in the next bear market, hypothetically, right? So it's about surviving for more than a cycle, right? I mean, I think the world is eventually going to shift into entirely cryptocurrency. And it's going to be probably a battle of people buying the government-sponsored CBDCs versus people opting into actual true self-sovereign peer-to-peer digital money with things like Hex and PulseChain and PulseX. So that's where I kind of see the world heading right now. And, so the name of the game is not only to just take all the profit, get in and get out at the very top and exit into US dollars, and then you're done with crypto. I think crypto is going to become an integral part of our daily lives. And yes, take profit when you need to pay your bills, to pay your, mortgage, to pay things that you can't buy with crypto. But one day, when you're able to buy real estate with crypto, settle on NFTs, whatever, the world 10 years from now is going to look a lot different than you can than maybe you can visualize or understand. And it's good to be on the right side of history, in my opinion. So, you never want to even sell more than really 20% of your bag. If you have a really good sized bag and the bull market tops, let's say 1,000x from now in December of 2025, you're not selling everything, right? You don't want to sell everything because you still want to have skin in the game in the crypto world. So yeah, take some profit, but just realize that the crypto that you actually hold has some value, which is a function of how many people are in the ecosystem, right? Metcalfe's law. And so the more and more nodes that we get in the ecosystem, the more people we adopt and onboard, the more valuable the currencies are going to be and the more useful they're going to be. Because you can go to one day you'll be able to buy your theoretical cup of coffee with HEX or really any coin. And you won't even realize that you're using crypto. It'll be so easy and seamless. So it's hard to see the future. I understand that for a lot of people, it's hard to look even more than a week in the future, especially when you're struggling to make ends meet. But when it comes to solid investing, like you need to be able to put food on the table, roof over your head. And that's what it means with the whole don't invest more than you're willing to lose thing. It's like, if you can't pay the bills, don't put that money in crypto and treat it as a lottery ticket or a 2-year ride up to heaven, because guess what? Prices are going to, imagine it's 2 years from now, right? December 25. PulseChain is 1 penny and you're euphoric, right? You are a paper millionaire. And what do? You buy the top, you buy more, and you forget to take profit because you let your emotions get the best of you. So all this time, all these people saying, oh, I'm just going to buy the bottom and sell the top. We'll see. Like, good luck with that strategy, buddy. We'll see when the next top comes if you're actually selling, taking profit, or telling everyone to get in. Like Michael Saylor telling people to mortgage their, take out loans on their homes and buy more Bitcoin at 60K Bitcoin, right? You just have to understand.
Peter McCormick, what was it, like almost 40K or something like that, took out like bank loans and stuff like that before getting halved. So yeah, just awful.
Yeah. People get caught up in the emotions of the whole thing, and it's myself included, right? I don't like seeing red candles. I love green, but when you've been in crypto for 2 cycles and more, like you kind of get a sense of, oh, this is just how it is, right? This is the time where people are really, really afraid. I'm seeing bottom signals everywhere. People are angry. People are rage quitting. Articles coming out. SEC is going after big exchanges. And I've trained myself at this point to say, wow, this, if ever there was a time to buy, to me, this looks like the time. So, I'm right now just, I feel like I'm shopping, right? I feel like I'm at a 90%, everything must go, Black Friday deal shop. But a lot of people just get scared. They're like, oh, is this going to be around for a while? So going back to, you need to understand what you're holding. You're in a solid ecosystem. You're holding Richard Hart products, right? These are built. HEX has 100% uptime. PulseChain has never been hacked yet. I mean, I don't think it ever will be. It's a copy of ETH 2.0. It's a copy of ETH 2.0, the longest running, most solid EVM blockchain, in existence. It's basically the one that paved the way for everybody else to copy. So as long as we are in this walled garden solid ecosystem, like part of crypto is just a game of attrition. It's a game of surviving, right? If you're still here in 5-10 years and you can survive multiple cycles, you will be not just rich, but wealthy. Like it's different. One cycle can get you rich, right? You might cash out, $100,000, $500,000. Great. You're set for the next couple of years. But then you could easily blow that too. Make stupid decisions, buy a bunch of, buy a Lamborghini or waste it on, hookers and blow.
Hookers and blow, bro.
Hookers and blow, right? All of our favorites. So, or you can really plan for the generational wealth, which is really decades long thinking. And I think that's the game that Richard Hart is building for too. These products are probably going to be here after we're dead. So you want to invest in solid things that just don't rug, don't get hacked. People don't talk enough about how big of a deal 100% uptime is, or how big of a deal that, PulseChain has been running flawlessly so far. Like everything else is getting hacked, whether via like centralized attack vectors or just shitty code or just, malicious actors. Centralized exchanges, scammers, Sam Bankman-Fried, the SEC is going after all these centralized companies. Everyone's caught with their pants down right now because either they weren't real DeFi or, they took people's private keys away from them. And, in this Richard Hart ecosystem, this is the only real true DeFi that I see as core to the fundamental beliefs of crypto that I can currently see.
DJ Cryptomatic, love your comment there, by the way. I love this comment by a wild SJ. So grateful I surrounded myself with folks who have been through this before. This is my first bear market and will be my first bull. I have no FUD. Amen,
Yeah.
girl.
You got to believe. You got to
That's right.
believe.
It was,
It's hard too because it helps you, deep understanding of what you're holding can help you believe. Don't just look and take my word for it. Think about what you're holding. It's a physically immutable smart contract. That's what HEX is. Can't be hacked, can't be changed, no backdoors. The code is the law, right? You're not trusting a group of old gray-haired dudes that you didn't even elect that are just pulling strings and deciding what the inflation rate should be today. You're investing in a mathematical contract that you make with yourself, and you lock up your own money and you get paid interest and yield on top of that. So, I mean, yeah, HEX is sounds crazy, right? But HEX really is a savings account if you look at it on a multi-year time frame. If you're looking at the last year, yeah, it didn't look like such a good savings account if you bought in September of 21, right? But if you bought in December of 2019, it still saved like an insane amount of money. If you put in $150 back then, you'd have like 10 grand today. So it's all about, I mean, yeah, timing when you buy definitely matters. So I like to say DCA at the dips. You've got your dip right now. You've had it for the last 10 months, and you're probably going to have it for maybe the rest of the year if you're lucky. But the dips don't last forever, and neither do the pumps. And, there are diminishing returns and amplitude every cycle, but this is the game that we're playing. And if you're not looking on a multi-year time frame, of course you're going to say, oh, terrible store value. But, think about 5, 7, 10 years from now. How are things going to be?
Yeah. And what other community is as strong as this one? So I'd go back to DJ Cryptomatic had a cool little shout out tweet thread this morning, and it was really cool just to read all of the handles in that thread to realize, like, man, it's been years, and a lot of these people that he named, or all of them that he named, haven't gone anywhere. Like, they've been around for the duration of HEX. So he shouted out pretty much everyone that has stuck around, that hasn't left. And it was a long list. And like, I'd love to see that list for, most, if any other coin. And, so shout out DJ for putting that out, because that was a really cool little thing there and a testament to the community, in my opinion.
Yeah. I mean, HEX is cool because it forces people to form a community, right? Like the emergent property that nobody really anticipated was that HEX formed the strongest crypto community in the entire space. And it's really remarkable. Everyone's trying to copy it, but it's hard to copy when you don't have a group of people that are literally locked in for the next 15 years and voting by putting their money where their mouth is, that they believe in the product, that they believe this has a future. So that's bullish, if nothing else, right? I mean, if you need some confirmation bias, just look at the 120,000 plus stakers that have staking ladders from now till 2037, right?
Yep.
And look at how much money the vast majority of them have made. I know a lot of people are down right now, but again, you need to think longer than a year time frame. You even need to think longer than a cycle, right? I'm going to go back to saying this again. Yes, take profit in the next cycle, but it's not as easy as you think it's going to be. Some people are learning the hard way too. A lot of people got fudded out of their HEX and they weren't even staked. So we even see a lot of people emergency end staking, clearly not understanding that it's going to nuke your whole bag if you didn't serve at least half the time, right?
Yeah.
So people are learning the hard way, but long-term holding is really what works, and it's the most boring financial advice ever, because everyone just wants to know, what yield farm do I go to today?
When
there's a new yield farm over here.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it does work kind of too, but again, if you
have to stay on top of that and like be really careful with what you're doing. I mean, you can navigate it pretty successfully, yes, but it's not really like a hands-off kind of thing either. Like, you have to pay attention, and or else you could get wrecked really quick.
Yeah, you need to know when the yield dries up and when everyone hops to the next thing. And some people like to play that game. I know Miguel's really good at that. As I become a larger player in the space, I understand how and why people do these side bets and these mini games, so to speak, because they're good. The yield is really good, but for people just starting out, people that don't have any money in crypto yet, or are just thinking about getting started and are not already whales, $100,000 or more, maybe, let's say, you shouldn't be risking it all on these random little yield farms or, side quests, when you should really just be getting your bags of PulseX, HEX, and eHEX And if you don't like eHEX or if you don't like pHEX, just get one, right? But I think getting all four is a great place to start because you're building that foundation, and then if you set up your HEX staking ladder, maybe you learn how to run a PulseChain validator, maybe you do a tiny little liquidity play, let's say like the PulseX Pulse pair. You get familiar with a couple of these things, but you shouldn't be just aping into every new strategy, shiny object, even every new protocol. There's going to be and this is also really bullish, right? Bunch of new cool things coming out for PulseChain and the ecosystem. It's you got your Hedron, which has existed for a while. You've got liquid loans. You've got the Earn protocol, Power
Tons
City,
of stuff.
all that awesome stuff. Yeah, it's all coming in the pipeline.
pH ecosystem, like
famous, fatty, fucks. All this stuff is going to be so good. But it's a lot of people don't think that you have to just ape into these protocols if you haven't built your foundation first, right? Like if you haven't built your PulseX, PulseChain, hex bags, staking ladder, tiny little baby steps into maybe liquidity providing, and then you're just going to jump into, famous, PHAMOUS. Like you're not going to have any idea what you're doing. That's a leverage trading platform. And just because it's the hot new thing doesn't mean you should go playing around and doing leverage trading just because you can, right? It's a hot new thing, but it's like whale games, right? Or maybe dolphin games, or at least squid games, right? Squid games are played by squids, right? But if you're a silent shell, if you're what's after that? If you're a tinkering turtle, maybe just chill out on trying to press every single button you see.
Yeah, I'll just go through some comments here. Where did the one I want to go? PulseX, man. So I find this one like pretty cool in a way. So he's like, yeah, we're definitely in market depression phase with only 145 watching. Load your bags now. And it's once this show probably gets turns the hour, we're averaging per week I think 200 to 300. That's 10 times what we were at the very beginning. So
I'm laughing too because only 145. Like, damn, dude, you should have been here in 2020.
Right, exactly. My memory goes back to that. I was like, man, are we gonna get 40 viewers today? Or live viewers, I should say.
We'd be lucky to have 45 back in the day.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a minimum. So
yeah.
It looks bullish in every single way you cut it. Coming from an OG like me or you, Cabana, like everything has just gotten so much better. The ecosystem is awesome. And I think the only people that are mad or unhappy are just thought they were going to get rich quick. That's just not how you play it. So slap to reality. I'm trying to explain to people, what works, what doesn't. Don't be a day trader. Think long-term. Play a months and years game, not days and weeks. Don't ape into shiny objects, and change a lot of the conventional ways of thinking too. You need to invert your reality. If you are a glass half empty type of person, you just need to stop, right? Because I don't know any successful pessimists out there, right? You can be skeptical, but you can be a skeptical optimist too. So, learn how to think for yourself. Don't just buy into something because we're telling you to buy into it. Never look to a guru online for anything. You need to understand internally why these coins are good. And if you don't believe they're good, then don't buy them, right? Like I'm not trying to force it down anyone's throat. But yeah, a lot of people just need to reprogram their reality too by eating right, sleeping right, exercising. Sleep, eat, exercise in that order are probably the most important things that a lot of the haters out there aren't doing right. Getting rid of stimulants and alcohol, drop the Adderall and all the pills and stuff. And think more clearly, right? And you won't have to go on these like outrage campaigns on Twitter. And it's because it really only hurts yourself at the end of the day.
Yeah, some of our Hex ladies come to mind. I've already mentioned SJ, like on the mental side, she puts out great stuff there. Hex Siren on the workout side, like she's always posting positivity and like workout, like her thing is around for 5,555 days, and she counts down each day in her workouts. And just cool stuff, from the community. It's just
that's awesome, man.
Just like what you're saying.
That's awesome, dude. Like we got to survive to see some of these stakes end, right? The bull market's gonna be awesome. We're gonna enjoy it. We're gonna take some profit. Don't get mad. We're gonna take profit, but we're trying to survive for decades here. Okay, we're trying to build the new financial parallel ecosystem. Build the new reality, right? Like we have the internet, freed up, information, just like crypto is freeing up value transfer, right? So separating money and state is a big deal, It's going to be a lot of fun to be a part of this revolution. And it all starts with just the individual, right? It's giving power back to the people. So if you can get on board with that narrative, it makes it a lot easier to have conviction in what you're holding. It almost doesn't even matter what coin you hold. I like to show the Richard Hart ecosystem, but as long as you show something that's going to survive, I mean, shit, you can buy Bitcoin and Ethereum only, and you'll survive. You'll survive for the next 10 years. Your gains might not be as good, but you're still going to get some gains, and you're still going to have, at the end of the day, when the world shifts into crypto, you're still going to have that big solid foundation of crypto, even if you only stuck to Ethereum, let's say. So yeah, we just need to kind of reprogram our brains and just ask, why, what's going on? We got a funny comment.
Oh no, sorry, go ahead. I was just clearing my throat.
Yeah, just ask, why you're here in the first place, right? And like, what's the risk of not doing anything, right? Like, what's the risk of sitting on the sidelines and just keep, abiding by the status quo, working at your 9-to-5 job, versus just taking a YOLO, swing? It doesn't, like, what if you miss, right? What if crypto all does go to zero? Well, at least you tried to get out of the matrix. You know what I mean? So, a lot of people also get scared too when they see their first 100 grand, right? They'll get like, maybe it's insecurity or something where they don't think they deserve it, because they were taught things like, money is the root of all evil and stuff like that. And that's things that just aren't true at all. Just terrible slogans that were made to enslave people and keep them kind of in a box. So you need to just like think of yourself as someone that deserves wealth as well, and that deserves wealth for many, many decades and generations to come. Because that'll help you a lot too. I mean, I feel like I'm getting a little preachy right now, and I'm not perfect either, right? Like I was
preach on, brother. I know the audience enjoys it.
Okay.
Speak freely.
Well, it's like, I love drinking, right? That's like a huge vice of mine. And I've had
like drinking too.
Yeah, exactly. It's called happy hour.
That's right.
And it's like, but I know when I'm not drinking, I'm like a super idealized like version of myself. I'm like
much clearer thinker.
Yeah, I'm like playing all the good God
stuff.
mode. It's like awesome, but it's just so tempting. And when it's ingrained in culture, it's part of my friend circle, engages in a lot of recreational binge drinking, and it's just like something that if you quit, you can really look at things from a bird's eye view and break yourself out of this rut of this 9-to-5 rat race. Because like, if you just stop even for a week or two, you'll start to think about like, what are we all doing here? Like, we're all just working for the weekend, 9-to-5, working for somebody else, a cog in a wheel at a machine that doesn't even care about you. Capitalism can be good or bad, right? It depends on where you fit into the whole system. But if you join the capital class, if you become someone that creates value rather than just consumes, I think that's kind of how you win in life. I mean, that's open. Crypto's opened my eyes in that way, starting a successful business and making successful investments and just talking freely on the internet, just becoming one of those crypto YouTube guys. It just opened my eyes to the fact that you can literally go do anything, like whatever you want to do. It doesn't matter if a bunch of people think it's stupid or they're going to hate you for it. As long as you find meaning and passion in it, it's going to make life a lot more worth living than just the mundane, tedious bullshit that a lot of us have to go through. So yeah, I think it's too risky not to invest in crypto, HEX, PulseChain. And yeah, if you're bummed out about the dip, and if you're crying and you're not buying, take a look at your habits, take a look at your Twitter usage, take a look at your sleep schedule, take a look at how much you're drinking. I had to quit stimulants too, because like they give you kind of a false illusion of productivity, caffeine and Adderall specifically. It's like you might feel like you're flying and you're getting so much done, and yeah, your room is going to be really clean, but it's like you can also get sucked into the Twitter vortex for 6 hours, and it's like it just depends. It's like it doesn't give you self-control, it just gives you a shit ton of energy, right? So yeah, I don't know if anyone needed to hear that, but
we're covering all topics here on Happy Hour. So
yeah,
you did mention Bitcoin and CBDCs and government. Just curious as to your thoughts on this whole thing with BlackRock coming out. I think it may have been yesterday. They may have found a way to get SEC approval for spot Bitcoin ETF, and I say it like that, like may have found a way. Like there's a clear front runner, and they're going to be the ones, in my opinion. They're they're in the government's pocket. Larry Fink is, right there with Gigi the clown, and it's done. Like this, to me, this is it. I would be actually shocked if BlackRock didn't get it. And what's funny is, like, you go into the article and it's like, there's a proposed surveillance sharing agreement dubbed the Spot BTC SSA. That's what makes this application different. And it's like, okay, so we had to have something to make it a little different, just to say, oh, well, we like this one better, and that's why BlackRock's going to get it, in my opinion. But
it turns out all you got to do to get a Bitcoin spot ETF approved is have $9 trillion under management.
Unbelievable, right?
Who would have thought?
Who would have thought that? So
Yeah.
it's not 100% fact that it will get approved or these are the guys doing it, but I would bet heavily that this is it.
Look, they got a pretty good success rate from what I hear. 98% success. They've had one proposal rejected out of the past couple hundred.
That's right. I did see that from your friend and my friend Sami.
Ah, what a great guy that is. He's just like,
he's everyone's friend.
He's like my news. He's better than like one of those news recap articles that you get emailed. Like, he's that plus funny and obviously friend.
Yeah, it's hard to follow for me. I mean, just on Twitter, it's hard for me to follow someone that tweets that much. But I find, like, most of that, his tweets are informational and or funny, and I'm actually cool with it. So, like, I'll have like a whole timeline, from Sabi tweets and charts and videos and hello and all that stuff. And it's just like it's okay. Maybe I'll just make a column like I do just Richard Hart tweets or something for him. But he's a good follow.
Yeah, man. So BlackRock. Oh, thanks, Westcott. You're the man, bro. BlackRock is probably going to get approval if I had to bet money on it. It's going to get approval. It's going to be traded publicly on exchanges. That's what ETF stands for, exchange traded fund. Whereas the Grayscale, for example, the Grayscale fund owned by Barry Silbert, who also owns CoinDesk, who hates you, by the way.
Shilbert.
Yeah, Barry Shilbert, who hates you, and also runs Grayscale, basically has had a hard time lately because he was essentially the one that fucked everybody over. Aside from Sam Bankman-Fried, Barry Shilbert might be at the top of the pyramid in terms of people left to go after, right? Because basically what he did was he would allow a lot of these companies like Celsius and BlockFi to take out massive loans against GBTC. But then when GBTC went to shit, a lot of these companies could never get any money for their GBTC because it has no rights of redemption, right? You can't exchange a GBTC for a physical Bitcoin. That's why we've seen the deficit so high right now. Is everyone's dumping their GBTC because Bitcoin's going down and they can't even exchange it for Bitcoin, and no one wants to touch it, and no one wants to buy it either when they can just buy, spot Bitcoin. So a way for him to get out of this mess would be to just allow redemption rights, and then the gap would close pretty quickly, right? Because everyone would go, if you could redeem a GBTC for an actual BTC, and you realize, oh, GBTC is at a 40% discount to NAV or to net asset value. Let me try to use words people get. GBTC is at a 40% discount to regular Bitcoin. I'm just going to go ahead and buy that all the way up back to parity, back to zero. So they could close that gap quickly and make investors whole. But instead, I think Mr. Shilbert is doubling down on trying to make his own ETF. Instead of just, saying sorry, admitting he's wrong. Classic Wall Street guy, right?
Yep.
He's trying to get his approval passed, which I don't think it's going to, because I don't think he's had sex with Gary Gensler yet. That's apparently what you have to do. So
a little BlackRock, handy under the table, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, no.
Just full-fledged. Yeah.
Right. But BlackRock is swinging their dick around now, and maybe if they get in, I don't know what that means, right? They clearly don't want Barry to be approved because they've rejected his proposal several times now.
Correct.
But after the first one's approved, and this article is on CoinDesk, right? So this article is on the news medium owned and operated by Digital Currency Group, who also owns Grayscale, who is kind of responsible for a lot of the mistakes made in the last bear market. So I don't know what to make of all this, guys. I don't know. Tell me your conspiracy theories. It's no surprise that BlackRock has been buying Bitcoin for a long time now. I think that news came out a couple months ago that they've been buying the dip essentially, and they want to own the most BlackRock or the most Bitcoin.
Yeah, and Larry Fink, the head of BlackRock, is already said. I mean, he wants to tokenize everything. I mean, he's the guy that wants to tokenize stocks. He's actually a huge believer in blockchain, but at the same time, you were talking about conspiracy theories. It's like, okay, well, you have one entity that's slowly taking over all the land, all of the Bitcoin, all of the whatever else that you can think of. And it's like, okay, that's where your mind starts to wonder. It's like, all right, is this really good? Is centralization like this really good? Is this why we got into crypto? Is this something that the Bitcoiners want? If this makes their price go up, but it becomes way more centralized, are they okay with that? Probably, because they're just idiots like that.
Well, here's the thing.
And they're haters of everything else that is more decentralized.
Yeah. Well, everyone, the powers that be just want to maintain control. And as long as they feel like they're in control, they need someone to dump on, right? So when BlackRock gets their ETF out after they've accumulated, let's say 2 or 3% of all the world's Bitcoin, just like Barry Shilbert has accumulated 3.5% of the world's Bitcoin, they feel like they've got control of it. So Wall Street, yeah, they can have their Bitcoin, right? They can have their weak little baby gains Bitcoin. And maybe, silver lining is that they trick the public into starting up another bull run after they pack their bags, right? After they loaded their bags, it's a classic technique. Obviously, you just propaganda the shit out of crypto to the masses, get them all excited again, and then you dump on their heads when crypto's maybe 100K in the top of the next bull run. Maybe 150 if we're really, really lucky. And everyone will be calling for $1 million Bitcoin again, and then it'll be rinse, repeat. So the silver lining, getting back to that, is basically that we can ride on the coattails of these guys in our own walled garden that they can't touch, that they haven't touched, that they weren't allowed to because they didn't get in the sacrifice phases. They didn't get in early. They don't even the PulseChain ecosystem isn't even on BlackRock and Digital Currency Group's radar right now. Well, it's on DCG's radar, but they look at it as a joke, right?
Yeah.
So that's kind of the really good thing about all this is that the big dogs, the Wall Street guys, the cokeheads are going to kick off a new bull run, but we're going to amplify our gains on that because we're going to have the higher, more volatile assets, basically the more illiquid, newer, shinier, better quality assets. So yeah, I mean, if they want to pump our bags for us, that's great to me.
I'm down. What else do we have in the chat? I got so many topics here to get your thoughts on before we get out of here. What the fucks? So Fox literally just launched. So I think anybody have any detail on the airdrops? Those who were listening into the spaces, put them in the chat. I'm just curious as to
did it really?
Perhaps what coins might be getting, or what sackers maybe. This is just pure guess on my front. Might be getting the first round of airdrops. I know they're doing a bunch of rounds of airdrops, but I think they were just announcing the first one today. So curious on that if you have that in chat. Hello, Helga. Let's talk about you, sir. Are you familiar with the Helga?
Is that the real Helga?
Oh, Helga frequently pops into the chat to talk. Yes.
Yeah.
So let's take a look at the
He's a man of many words.
At the Idiot Man Guide. This is one of my favorite documents right now. So the Helga Idiot Man Guide. It's only 3 pages long, so that's cool. I do appreciate that, and it's spoken in pretty much plain English that other people, actual humans can understand rather than goats.
Right.
But it's got supply points, no admin keys. I love the leagues here. So we have the glorious goat, the horse, crazy cow, sheepish sheep, pleb pig, dodgy dog, careless cat, destitute duck, cheeky chicken, wrecked rat, and a broke bee. So, wow. And if you go to the Helgo Telegram, as I guess the minting phase is going on, it tells you, I guess, which one of these levels just minted. I just saw a broke bee put in like $1 or something But Helga commenceth. Yes. And the Paper of White Black Edition for big brains. Sorry, I forgot to mention that one, Helga. So yeah. But any thoughts on this? I love the memery, and like this thing, I think it's probably been in thought for over a year. I remember Michael Morton actually did a pretty decent sized stream on it when we thought PulseChain was right around the corner, and it never ended up being that way until like a year later. Here we are now, and PulseChain's launched, and day 33 passed, and Helga has launched. So
nice. I mean, dude, yeah, meme coins are meme coins, man. Like you can make a quick buck on them, maybe. Go have fun. They do bring degens into the ecosystem, right? Helga brings all the degens to the yard. So maybe go trade it on 9inch. Maybe you can get some BBC for it. Stake it and get some BBC token or whatever you guys are into.
Not the BlackRock or Blackcock token. This is
Blackcock, right?
The 9-inch variety on the 9inch .io.
Helga seems like it'd be perfect for 9inch. I'll say that. But no, it does look like pHEX, by the way. I didn't watch the latest spaces, but it looks like you can mint it all right now. So if anybody's sacrificed for famous or famous or fiat, you can go ahead and mint your you can mint your fucks on Fatty. Jesus
Say that 5 times fast, please.
Oh my God, guys. Yeah, I'm trying to.
So eFiat and fiat minters can, or sackers can mint fucks or famous.
Yeah.
All of the ecosystem coins, perhaps.
That's what it looks like.
All right. Well, cool. Well, since we're in the United States, I really doubt that we would have done such a thing. But perhaps after this show, we're going to look into it just out of curiosity.
Yeah, I know what I'm doing in the next 20 minutes. No, that's awesome. They do have a DApp out too. It's called dap.fux.io. If you just go to phex.io, it doesn't load. So make sure you put the subdomain in there. And it looks like it's out. That's cool. It's basically a balancer fork. So balancer is liquidity pools that are not only dual pair liquidity pools, but like 3 coins, even 4 coins. It's actually pretty awesome. I'm looking at the app right now, and again, I don't know if this is live or beta. It seems like it's PulseChain mainnet, so this is awesome. And it says you've got like the RH Maxi pool for an example. It basically bundles PulseX, pHEX, eHEX, and INC token all in one pool. So you can get theoretically one day you can get really efficient trading back and forth on these deep liquidity pools. Same thing with stable coins, right? TUSD, USDC, and DAI, all in one liquidity pool. So kind of interesting. Anybody can make their own pools, but only certain ones get popular. The stablecoin pools are what I'm imagining is going to be the most popular.
I would think so. And I think we were talking in the green room, not on stream, but if he wanted to read a really good quick and dirty on it, I think it was 3 Errors Capital, but wrote it. So I'd like to give him cred if that's the one, but just go on the Fucks Twitter handle, pHEX on Twitter. And that link was there from yesterday or the day before. And it provides you with a really good summary of tokenomics, pools, pretty much everything that Coffee just touched on there. The site SJ is dap.phux.io. So
yeah, I wonder why they use the W abbreviation. Have you ever seen that before? So they're abbreviating pHEX and wHEX, not eHEX.
Huh.
I wonder what that. I mean,
wrapped hex, but
wrapped hex proof of work. I don't know.
I'm sure it's explained somewhere.
Yeah.
But yeah, for I guess if you're on eFiat, I guess the the rewards come with everything, with a PH in front of them or something like that, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
So it's like PH Hedron, PH USDC, stuff like that. So
yeah,
good stuff. these are all, probably training wheels still on, but
Yeah.
a lot, like months from now, maybe by the end of the year, just think of how much activity is going to be going on, especially if like a bull picks up.
Oh
And
yeah.
oh my gosh, you're going to have Power City, you're going to have this ecosystem with
Well, and this is how whales are incentivized to get over here too, because they get paid APR they get paid yield for providing this liquidity too. So you're gonna have a lot of hopefully big guys migrating maybe from Aave or Balancer or similar protocols and putting some of their liquidity to work. Somebody in the chat says it's hex wrapped coming from ETH. Thanks for answering my question there. I'm so used to seeing eHEX. I don't know why they changed the naming convention there. Not like it matters that much, but just a little confusing for new people, I guess.
Oh yeah, pHEX airdrop also has a decrease built in every time someone mints. The next mint reduces a little, such that every 1K claims reduces claim values by half. So, all right, guys, that's the show for the day. We'll see you later. No, just kidding.
Yeah, good place to end.
What else we got? Let's see. So we touched on Helga. We've got a lot of these.
God whale fail.
Yeah, God whale fail. So the DAFUQ, the fuck was that, man? So there are tons of theories going around, like fat fingering. Does he know the BankX guys? Was it just like
dude? Well, here's the thing, man. Like a lot of
like
people don't
something
remember.
really dumb because he does degen sometimes. Like,
dude, sometimes you got to do Occam's razor, right? The simplest solution is most likely the correct one. People can invent conspiracy theories if they want, but a lot of people don't remember in the early days of Hex, back when God Whale pumped the shit out of Hex in like year one. That's why we all love him and we call him God Whales, because he gave us our first giant green candle and basically legitimized Hex on Uniswap V1. But people looked into his wallet and people are making up conspiracies like, oh, it's Richard. Richard's just buying his own token. And then you look in his wallet and it's just full of shit coins. Like he does like and you're like, okay, guys, I'm pretty sure this is not Richard. Like, and now again, as if you needed any more proof that it's not Richard, he goes and does this thing where he gives 800 million hacks to some, scam project, which is fine. Like that's, it was his mistake, and it's got to go to show you, just because he's rich doesn't mean he's always going to make the best decisions. We love you, Godwell. If you're watching, we love you.
That's right.
But imagine you're just a super Ethereum OG, right? And this guy's got hundreds of thousands of I don't know how much Ethereum he's got, but let's say he's got 100,000 Ethereum. He could afford to just put 100 ETH into random stuff that doesn't have any intention of ever succeeding ever, right? So you can kind of see it from his point of view. If he really has that level of fuck you money, he doesn't care.
Right.
Like, the real Helga showed up in Hex trading. No way, he's back.
Yeah. No, I was laughing at you actually. I was just putting that comment up, but
yeah.
You talked about Godwell.
yeah. So yeah, just because you're rich doesn't mean you're a genius. Okay, I mean you people are all just human beings. What I hear, the scammer guy is trying to do an OTC deal. I don't care. There's nothing we can do about it at this point. It doesn't seem like they want to or have any intention of hurting the price. I think they understand, or they're smart enough to understand that a market dump or even just a large dump would hurt the whole ecosystem, right? So if
I didn't even realize that SAC was still going on, or like when I was like, obviously something I'd never paid attention to, and then it was like, oh my gosh, did he SAC like before the fork? But apparently it's just eHEX. So
yeah, it's not yeah, I mean, look, it's been a lot. It's that project has been in existence for a long time. I looked at it months ago. Guys even reached out to me to try to like talk about it, and once I learned a little bit more about their previous history, I said no, like hard pass, thanks. Or I think I just ignored it. But
they did the thing in Vegas, which I didn't end up going to Vegas, but I guess they did that house for streamers, and they were like trying to get all the Hex personalities in. I'm like, something kind of smells about this. I don't know. It just, something hit me the wrong way, a little weird, and never touched it, and kind of glad I didn't now. So
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I mean, some people don't even know or think that they're scammers, right? Like, they
yeah.
literally just actually believe in their really bad idea. So I don't know what's going to end up happening, but it's not worth losing any sleep over. Like, I can be reasonably confident that they have enough brain cells to not market dump enough to the point where it would hurt the ecosystem, right? I know they're looking for an OTC deal. Hope they find one. I'm sure they probably will. And I hope whoever they sell it to also doesn't dump, right? Because it's
Yeah.
like,
I
you
mean,
gotta,
last I saw, I think it was just yesterday, Alex confirmed in one of somewhere, I forget, Twitter or Telegram, that fell through and he was no longer being considered to write that contract. So I don't know what the deal is now. I did hear DCC the other night say that they're thinking about just staking it and doing monthly interest or yield payouts. So who knows? But I did see yesterday Alex said something to the effect of that the OTC is currently not being worked on.
yeah. Well, whatever, man. Whatever happens, happens. I've got some really low limit orders set for Wix, if there are
Right.
one.
I mean, you can nuke yourself. It wouldn't make any sense for the entity to dump everything at once. It would just be totally stupid. And like you said, if you can rub two brain cells together, which most of us can, I have a feeling these guys won't just totally nuke
Yeah,
themselves along with everyone. And even if it did, guys like yourself and perhaps me and others would just have their limit orders hit.
I'd be buying. I'd be
Yeah.
buying the crap out of that Wick if there was one. But you know, I don't know what it's gonna do. I don't think we can really lose sleep over trying to predict what's gonna happen. But someone will tell us when those coins move.
Exactly.
My most reasonable assumption was like they're probably just gonna do monthly rolling stakes. 2 years from now, they're gonna lose all the T shares, and they'll be a net negative for the next couple of years, but it won't be that serious where it can't be absorbed by the greater market. Maybe. I don't know.
Perhaps.
I don't know. It's unfortunate, but yeah, don't let that steer you the wrong way. It's just one guy.
Yep. Tigray. Imagine all the newbies who will see the highest of stakes and then check YouTube for more information and see millions of HEX and PulseChain videos. The future of the RH ecosystem
Yeah.
is bullish. I like that take.
Imagine the highest of stakes actually launches. That'd be cool.
Yeah. I'm thinking like we're a couple months away. I'm thinking like a summer kind of thing.
Yeah.
The way RG3 talked, I guess, on a stream, I guess a few weeks ago, it just struck me as like we're still like a few months out. It wasn't like imminent. So if we're pumping it on the PulseChain tour, that's pulsechaintour.com, then I wouldn't see that the release is imminent. I'd figure, we're weeks, if not months still away, but I do think it's got to happen this year. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
PulseChain's out. Like, bull market could very well start by the end of the year. Like, there is no better time. So let's get it rolling.
It would be real nice, wouldn't it? And that's only going to be, one of many future bullish things, right? Got so much going on. You got the movie, you've got all these protocols, liquid loans, earn protocol, PortalX swap, Pixel Park, Mintra. You've got the PulseChain tour going from city to city, coming to Seattle. Seattle and then Denver, I believe. So get your tickets, guys. If you don't have your ticket to pulsechaintour.com, get one before they sell out. Good opportunity for photo ops, just meeting people, making connections, business connections, life connections, new friends, and even onboarding new people too. Bring your friends that you want to onboard into crypto, and there'll be little seminars about how to buy crypto, what crypto is, crypto 101 crash course. Get your picture taken in front of the PulseChain bus. It's a good time. You should go.
Will you be at any of these stops?
I'll be at the Chicago one. So
of course you will. Any others?
Maybe the Denver one. We have
cool.
to find out.
I'm thinking a southeast one or two. So
there you go. Nice.
And I know
Florida. I don't know if they're going to go to Florida. Are they?
There is a stop in Miami. I guess they
Oh.
do seminars versus the workshops. So I think, I forget. Atlanta is, I think, a seminar, and then Miami might be a workshop. I might have them reversed, but they're also doing one, I think, in Charlotte. Pretty sure like Rags and or Sloth are doing one of those two. Can't remember. So looking forward to hopefully meeting some of you guys and gals that I have not met yet in person.
Yeah.
So that's always cool too.
Yep.
What else is on the list before we check out for the night? All right. So one thing I've seen a lot lately, pretty much it nauseates me because I don't think it's really important, but I guess people think that maybe if Richard Hart streams, price will go up. That's the only thing I can even think about, like the reasoning for all these when stream.
Yeah.
I really like it's become an obsession with some people. I'm not saying,
Some people.
everybody or a lot, but it is rather annoying to read. It's like, okay, guys, like just we've done this long without, streams, let it launch. Maybe he's waiting for, for a perfect moment or something like that. You got his like 14-second hostage video. Let that, just hold us over until, he's free.
Yeah, I mean, you guys got the 15-second video to prove he's still alive. A lot of people think that matters a lot more than it really does. I'm totally in agreement with you. There's 100 other streamers you could watch, or you can get off your ass and go be a streamer yourself, create some content. But a lot of these people, maybe they have Stockholm syndrome or something, where they need to see Richard, otherwise they don't believe in the products. But wouldn't you rather the guy building the best products in crypto actually focus all of his time and energy on building them? Building is the most important thing. I think promoting and marketing is secondary. So if I was him, if I was in those shoes, yeah, I'd have to focus on maintaining the network, make sure everything is updated, making sure go.hex.com is fixed. There's plenty of to-do items from a technical standpoint. There's plenty of bugs that need to be fixed and all this stuff, little tweaks that need to be made. Maybe there's going to be some new INC pools. Who knows? But these are all technical decisions and stuff that has to be done on the back end, not on YouTube. So let the man do his thing, guys. And in the meantime, if you don't like what you're seeing or hearing, well, sucks to be you, I guess, man. It's just like a lot of these people need to grow up. Yeah, it would be a little morale boosting. I agree. But, I'm still here. You're still here. We've got hundreds of other people. Miguel is still here. Hexologist is still here. Like we got so many people. Everybody in the chat is all active on Twitter. A lot of people make videos. We're still here. We're not going anywhere. I mean, the guy's got a lot of work to do, so give him a break, right? Like he doesn't work for you. No expectations of profit, right? He doesn't do whatever you think is most important. He's doing what he thinks is most important, which objectively, I think that's what's most important is building. Yeah, building is bullish, right? Like, I don't know.
Crypto King, what is your take on Silver the Antidote comparison of how the Dash founder disappeared? I did see that, and I don't like if Richard's in it for the glory, then I believe, which I believe he is, then no. Like I think he has his reasons for not, being so public right now. But
I think some
people
really like conspiracy theories because it helps them reason about life. And if there's a master plan behind everything, then the world is a lot more simple. And in the reality, like again, Occam's razor, the world's complex, and usually people are just busy with other stuff, right? There's no master plan of slipping away. I mean, tell yourself whatever you want, though, because I mean, really, conspiracy theories, that's why people like them, is because they actually help people simplify things rather than connecting all the actual dots of such a chaotic system, right?
Yeah. And decent point here from PulseChain. He's still tweeting all the time. It's not like he's gone like radio silent or anything like that. So
yeah.
What else? T Gray had dinner with friends, and the dude's wife said, "I thought crypto was a scam. LOL. Either we're really early or these folks are really effing late." Very true. Very true. Let's see what else we got. Any other questions for Coffee while we got him here? Because we're going to wrap it in a little bit. We've gone on for about an hour. A couple more on my topics list. I think I may have gotten these from things you've talked about recently. I guess any issue, or shouldn't say issue, because there are multiple front ends for hex. So obviously go.hex .com is not working, I guess, optimally on the PulseChain side. What favorite hex front ends are you using?
I mean, just use app.icosa.pro.
Yeah. I mean, I think I've seen you mention others, but is that your go-to? That's my go-to. So yeah.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, look, if you just want to go to go.hex.com, like you can wait for the homepage to load. It takes a while, right? But the workaround for people that for when it's not working for you, go to the homepage. Don't go directly to the stake tab. Wait for the homepage to load, and then go to the stake tab after that. Like be on the PulseChain network in MetaMask. Go to the homepage, and then wait for that to load, and then go to the stake tab. That apparently works. I've really just been using app.icosa.pro. Like, works fine for me. Richard's gonna fix it. So,
yep, that's my go-to. Plus, it helps you remember about your hedron. So if you use that, you're not you have to be really not paying attention to forget about your hedron mints. So
yeah.
And last on the list, at least for here, you tweeted, I think it might have been earlier today or yesterday, about what you're seeing with at least meme coin communities are bridging the PulseChain, and we're seeing some activity from those guys over here. Is that something that you think is we as a community can be like promotional about, be like, hey, these guys did it, or not spin it, but promote it in such a way, be like, okay, this is how you do it, or if like this is one community that stands out that has done it successfully. I know the pHEX guys had their fun with it. Any takes on what you're seeing with the meme coins bridging over and playing around on the new playground known as PulseChain?
I don't know, man. I don't have many thoughts about meme coins. Like, they're meme coins. They're short-lived. People buy them. People sell
I'm
them.
not talking about the coins themselves. I'm just talking about the action where we're actually getting activity that on the chain. So it's like people are seeing it's like, oh, okay, well, we can bridge our coins over here, pair them up, and then that's kind of was the original hope, was it not? Is to
I mean, it's kind of cool.
onboard
Like,
new users. So yeah,
I think meme coin communities, they don't seem to be committed or married to any particular chain, right? So it's kind of cool that we're seeing pHEX and that community come over. I think Shiba has a good chance of coming over to PulseChain. Some of these communities are debatably doing even a better job than Hex in terms of trying to back the value. Now nobody's really done this successfully yet, and Hex is probably as close as it's gotten so far to pairing the value via liquidity. But some other communities, it's more of like a jumping ship. Like, I think with pHEX, it's more like, oh, they're all abandoning the ETH version now, and now they're moving over to PulseChain. I don't know. I'm not balls deep in all these communities or anything, but that's what it seems to be. Like, they're more likely to hop ship just because they don't have any allegiance to any particular chain. And that's good. That's what we want, right? I mean, if meme coins are going to get more attention and eyeballs, it's a net positive, right? Like, it's all a net positive.
I agree. The more, the merrier. And I think that pretty much runs through any and all topics I had on us to chat about. Any other? Oh yeah, cancer coin. How about that cancer coin? Tiptoes out of the room.
Oh,
bye.
Yeah,
anyway,
I don't know, man. Don't really have anything to say about it.
It was pretty much ended as many people kind of warned about, and I guess it's never ending if you can just keep playing shell games and whatnot. So anyway, all right, guys.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
Well, just, I mean, there's a lot of coins out there in the whole shiny object syndrome deal where they constantly rely on the next gimmick to have a short-term pump, and then it's just perma dump from there. And then, oh, we're going to build this other new like contraption, and you could put your coin A over here in this weird little protocol. And then that, you really just want the stuff that's going to be there for a long time. And with the people that know what they're doing, where you don't want to join something that it feels like the plane is kind of being built while it's already in the air, you know?
Yep.
It's
especially in a bear
hard to
market like
identify.
that was like the worst or best timing, depending upon your perspective, to launch such a thing and attack all these chains. It's like, oh, what's this? And it's something for people to do with all the wallets and minting, and it's just like, man, just hang on, like keep, like you just said, stay away from that shiny object syndrome mentality, because it will, if you're already wrecked in the bear, it's going to wreck you even further. It might even make it, unrecoverable for you. And I think sadly, a lot of people might be totally wrecked because of these things. It sucks.
Yeah, it's unfortunate.
Well, let's talk a little positivity before we go. So you mentioned, just casually, I know it was probably speculation, but PulseChain at a penny one day. Can you really see that in the next how many years? Can you see it, first of all, I guess?
All right, what?
I meant I messed up coffee during his pHEX minting. Sorry. Your take on PulseChain price real quick before you
go. PulseChain?
PulseChain, PLS. Like you mentioned, you threw
good.
out a penny earlier in the show. Do you think it'd take
I don't
years
know,
for us to
man.
get there?
I mean, it's a good coin. Buy it or don't. Like, I don't know what to say.
All right.
It's good, man. PulseChain's awesome. Price prediction? Well, I don't know. A penny? Sure.
In 5 years or less.
Dude, I'm not doing price predictions, man.
He's learned this lesson over time. All right, man. Well, get to minting your hex or pHEX, excuse me. And
thank you.
No problem, dude. Where can we find you, man?
Follow me on Twitter and YouTube. Crypto Coffee 369 on every single platform. Yeah, thanks for coming.
There you go. Are you on the Insta at all?
Barely. I do have an Instagram, but I'm not very active.
All right. There you have it, ladies and gents. As always, we're here. Well, I shouldn't say as always. Usually Fridays at 5 p.m. Eastern. I think that'll be the time. Next Friday, I will be on the road for probably months now. So I will be coming to you from a different destination or / location for your happy hours. Just stay tuned to the Twitter at Cabana Crypto for your show times and all that, man. Coffee Man, you were my first, bro, and it's always good to catch up here on stream with you and shoot it every now and then. So thanks for coming by, bro.
Yeah, glad you're still here, and cheers to the future.
Cheers to the future. Thank you, chat, DJ Cryptomatic, always for the pre-show, and we will see you next week. Cheers, everybody.